The latest haunting tale from visionary Mike Flanagan arrives on Netflix this Friday, September 24th, and thanks to my friends at Netflix UK, I've been lucky enough to have checked it out. This is my review of Midghnit Mass. The tale of a small, isolated community whose existing divisions are amplified by the return of a disgraced young man and the arrival of a charismatic priest. And when these two events coincide with unexplained and seemingly miraculous events, a renewed religious fervor takes hold of the community. Now, before I get started, I want to guarantee there will be no spoilers for Midghnit Mass. I want to respect your viewing experience of this show and the fact that Netflix granted me access to this show in advance. But I want to know your thoughts. If you're excited for Midghnit Mass, if you've already seen it by the time you see this video, throw it all down there into the comments below. Start the conversation because this show will have a lot of conversation going forward. There's so many ways to interpret what we see here, so I cannot wait to know your thoughts. And while you're down there, if you're new to this channel, thank you so much for clicking on this video. Why don't you consider clicking that subscribe button? It does wonders to get the content out there, and you'll always be aware of whenever there's more great content. Mike Flanagan is one of the best directors and storytellers just working today. I have loved every single thing this man has done up until now. From Hush to Dr. Sleep to The Haunting of Bly Manor and Hill House, I love this man as a storyteller, and Midghnit Mass might just be the best thing he has ever done. Clearly, it's his favorite project to have worked on. You can feel that passion brimming out of the screen with every gorgeous yet haunting visual that he delivers in this show. Curious enough, while this is also probably the biggest cast he has worked with in one of his shows, it's also his most personal and intimate story. He allows us to observe this world and unravel this story through the perspective of these several characters that are so haunted or broken by something in their past, and how he navigates this story presenting these different perspectives is so effective, so beautiful, so emotional. There isn't a character that I would call disposable by the time this show ends. Every character that is presented plays such an important, significant part in the way the story unravels and the decisions the characters take. It's an all-encompassing show that thematically is brilliant and uses all its elements to their fullest potential. By the end of every episode of Midghnit Mass, I was mesmerized by how Flanagan kept me hooked. The very first episode in this show is very much set up, and then by the end, you're hooked. And then every episode is like that. It just keeps on hooking you more and more and more. And the most fulfilling moments, the most compelling scenes in this show are always, to me, whenever two characters are talking. There's a scene in this empty recreational room. There's a moment on a boat that I had tears watching this scene. I mentioned previously in this video how this show is emotional. I was an emotional wreck several times. There are scenes and moments and themes that this show discusses and explores. They are so compelling, and the way Flanagan explores this and presents this, it's thought-provoking. I think he does such a wonderful job with this show in all regards. Flanagan explores faith in such a unique way through these beautifully broken characters. They are so human. They hold up a mirror to ourselves. They show us the best, they show us the brokenness, and they show us the worst in humanity. I can't say who, but there's an antagonist in this show that is absolutely despicable and so effective to get you fervored up every time they are on screen. I also gotta congratulate the cinematography and score that complement each other so well. The visuals and the soundscape of this show are absolutely tremendous. They are stunningly flawless. I was enamored. I was captured constantly and immersed into this show because of how beautiful the writing, the visuals and the score really were, and how they captured and made this world feel alive and like I was part of it. Everything feels so deliberate. It's stunning. It's an expensive and authentic capture of themes such as faith, life, death, sin, and most of all humanity, because all these characters come across as people. They never feel like they're characters being written on the show, and that's a quality that Mike Flanagan always has in his characters. And it's beautiful. It's haunting. It's frightening. This is a very, very terrifying show. There are scenes in this show that I had my blood boiling, I was sweating, I was white-knuckled, but it's also very beautiful what Flanagan is going for with these people. That fantastic character work cannot be emphasized enough. Flanagan constantly keeps this show grounded through his characters. He allows the horror element to shine through these characters. It always comes from some insecurity, something they did in the past, some brokenness that haunts them to this day. We're allowed to live that with them. Going back to moments where characters are just talking, it's fascinating to see the ability of Flanagan to just show horror by how he frames these scenes. There's a scene where two characters are talking, they're sitting across from each other, and how Flanagan positions the camera in this moment is so off-putting. It's so much more than what these characters are talking about, and the dialogue is fantastic. Don't get me wrong, the dialogue in this show and in this scene is phenomenal, but it's so much more of what you see and maybe what we're not seeing in those moments. Flanagan allows us to linger in and be there in those moments with these characters, to just live through these horrors, these things that haunt them, and I found that fascinating and completely unnerving. That fantastic character work, along with just some all-around great writing, obviously gives way to actors to be able to deliver great performances all around. Flanagan proves himself not only a great storyteller, but a great director of actors. Everyone gives everything to their roles. There's some very heavy scenes that are tremendous to pull off, and these actors do it. Special shoutouts to Rahul, who is so great as the town sheriff, Hamish Linklater, who gives the performance of his life, playing with so many emotions, sometimes at the same time it's insane, and Kate Siegel, who also gives the performance of her career. I've never seen her be better than this, and she's great in everything I've seen her in. Just phenomenal work from everyone, and another top-notch element to this show. Flanagan just does not have a misstep when it comes to Midghnit Mass. It's raw, it's intimate, it's profound, it's frightening, and it's compelling. It's a beautifully haunting tale about faith, about life, about death, and it's absolutely masterfully done. Regarding issues, these are nitpicks. I adore this show. I've seen it twice at this point. There are moments where we have these elongated musical montages and we just jump from character to character, where it feels the episode should have been able to breathe more and spend more time with these characters, just actually listening to them, to the beautiful dialogue that is written throughout the show. And there's one monologue at the end that I did not care for. It overstayed its welcome a little bit. Outside of that, Mike Flanagan, you brilliant bastard. Bravo for Midghnit Mass. I'm giving Midghnit Mass an A. Those are my thoughts on Mike Flanagan's Midghnit Mass. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to let me know your thoughts, whether you're anticipating the show, whether you've seen it, whether you agree, disagree. Throw it all down there. Let's discuss it all. Thank you so much once for watching. Thank you so much again to Netflix for allowing me access to this show. It's brilliant. I cannot wait for you guys to watch it. And I'll be back very soon with many more reviews, and I hope to see you in those. And so until then, love each other and love the movies.